What's good, everybody? It's Game Talk. I'm Gangster. I'm here with Brimstone,
What's up, fellas?
RevTech,
Hello, everybody.
and that's it, because Blue's being a little bitch and watching the Super Bowl. How's everybody doing today? What's y'all up to?
I'll watch you the Super Bowl probably.
I definitely not. I'm not. You know what's crazy, dude? Is I used to love the Super Bowl. Like that.
I'll glance at it for the commercials and stuff like that.
My dad and I, like when I was a kid.
Is that a PC Master Race shirt?
It is,
that is
sir.
There you go.
You
boy.
motherfuckers are being nerds and shit, while like us real alcoholics are wearing Fireball around this.
Hey
bitch.
man, I'm sorry. I had to today. I'll join you here in a second, Pete. I'm just waiting on this cashy crap.
Oh, that's cool. You gonna join us, Brimstone?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh my goodness, girl. What are you doing? My cats are being... If you guys hear clawing and meowing like normal, it's coming from my
What's up, Don G? Ugh. Yeah, cats can be a pain. I'm lucky that my girlfriend's cat doesn't really like... Every once in a while she'll try and climb up on my lap while I'm playing, but not usually.
All right, Facebook.
So.
Got it. Like I said, I don't normally post this to my Facebook. I'm always kind of like really self-conscious of what people may think about what they see here. So, but you know what? I don't care today. I am drinking the Miami Cola Bang today, ladies and gentlemen, and it's delicious.
Actually, a really good energy drink
Mr.
right
Pibb.
now is that Coke energy drink.
Yeah, I need to try that. I'm gonna probably pick some up today to just try it.
And meanwhile, I'm waiting on a cashy thing from Call of Duty. Great.
Oh yeah, they did an update. They did you get the free content DLC 2 yet?
Probably I did, and I probably didn't even notice it.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, I see all the little new markers. Arctic Beast.
Arctic Beast, what?
That looks kind of cool. New skins. Woodland cover. Battle ready. Cloak and dagger. Yeah.
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 Call of Duty updates.
Yeah, I don't mind.
No yawning, sir. Okay, this is a no yawn free zone. All right. We're not trying to make our people sleep. Just kidding. So first on the docket is, of course, the gnarly failure of what's going on right now with Blizzard with Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Yep.
Now, personally, dude, like this kind of breaks my heart. I'm an old school Warcraft guy. I played the first 2 games. I loved them as a kid.
Yep.
And seeing this go on with Reforged, this was one of my actual top anticipated games of the year. Okay, I was like hyped as hell for this, and now that I see them doing this over at Blizzard, like the bait and switch of the announcement trailers versus what they got both in cinematic footage and gameplay is absolutely atrocious. I know there's worse things out there when it comes to gaming, but
here,
still,
let
like,
me quote things. So let me quote a gangster. Ding ding, shame.
But like it is pretty bad though. This is not typical Blizzard practice, and that's worrying me because Blizzard never used to be this way. Now they're starting to do what everybody else is doing, and it's pissing me off.
Well,
I like Blizzard, dude.
They'll do the same thing with StarCraft. You watch. Yeah,
I'm surprised it didn't happen to the first the StarCraft 1 redo.
Yeah, because they actually did it. That's the thing. Like, I mean, higher resolution. They gave you mod support for textures. Like, it was awesome, right? Like,
right.
Yeah, simple, cheap, well done. They added everything in that people wanted, like widescreen support, better textures, shit like that. Yeah.
If they would have just done that, if they would have just done that with Warcraft 3 instead of calling it Reforged, we probably would not be having this conversation.
No, they made
Yep.
it into a new game. That's what happened.
They said Reforged being, oh, we ripped all the assets apart and rebuilt the game from the ground up. And now there's sources saying what they did was they took assets from World of Warcraft
Right.
and shrunk it down into Warcraft 3.
Not just that,
I'm-
like they didn't even deliver on like quote unquote promises. Like it wasn't explicitly stated, but they showed a whole bunch of pictures or screenshots of what they were saying was going to be the final product, and people are comparing those with the actual released product, and they're nowhere even close to being similar.
They're not even close. There's
Yeah.
even
Didn't they pull
so
the-
much changes to it that the perspective of the camera angles of like
Yep.
when Arthas comes
Cutscenes
into
and shit.
town,
Yeah.
and cutscenes are completely different.
Yep.
Did they pull it off the store?
No,
No, it's still there.
That's still a shame.
Not
They
just
should
that.
just pull it off the store and redo it again. I mean, that's
Right.
what they should do.
Yeah, even worse.
Performance. The performance hitches that they're getting old, dude.
Oh,
People
bugs
are
galore.
getting disconnected.
Yep.
There's bugs galore. They're getting
Crashes.
disconnected from server in the middle of games. Some dude was playing, already trying to get into the ranked matches, or he was trying to get into a ranked match. Got started, and then it just kicked everybody out. Like, this is why if it's not broken, don't try to fix it.
Right?
And that's what they did here. They took what made Warcraft 3 so good and said, well, we're gonna amp up the ante on that and make it better.
Well,
And what we got in the end result was like way the hell down here below Warcraft 3 standard.
Here's the thing. They took what was happening with World of Warcraft Classic, right? Instead of just making it an expansion thing, they turned around and said, "Oh yeah, we can literally milk the system because, you know, a lot of you motherfuckers are going to buy it." And that's what they did. They just tried to reskin it instead of making it an expansion for what they already had, and they fucked up. Now they're gonna have to pull it off the store, and because of the major backlash that's happening.
You know what's funny about that is like that's the only thing that I remained like consistent with. I have not touched my World of Warcraft account forever. Like after that last expansion that I played, I was like, I'm done. Like I can't do this anymore. Like this is like to me, like when you bastardize one of my favorite MMOs that I've spent literally like years on. From all the way back when I was 21, when I first hit 21, dude, like I was pissed. That's what I lost faith with Blizzard when it came to the World of Warcraft shit. Like I was like, you know what? I'm fucking done. I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this company doing what they're doing. And I was really hoping because, like I said, StarCraft is pretty damn good as a remake, or not a remake, but you know, an upscaled.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's really freaking good. But you go into StarCraft 2. Say like they did a really good thing, but they also did some shitty things like piecing together missions and shit and selling them for like $10 per faction. You don't even get all the commanders at that $10 entry fee. You only get one commander with his side mission, and that is it. That's all you get. And it's like, no, So they bastardized my StarCraft 2 that I loved. And then they step forward and say, okay, here's Reforged. Get me hyped for what, 2 or 3 years? And they finally release it, and it's a shit show. Like I'm getting close to being done with Blizzard when it comes to this shit. If they bastardize Overwatch 2, I'm fucking done with Blizzard, dude. Like I am done. Like I will never buy another Blizzard product again.
Yeah.
Because if OW2 comes out and it's actually shit, and I mean like on the levels of Reforged shit. Yeah, no. Overwatch 1 is where I'll stay, and that's will probably be the only game I play other than Diablo 3 and Diablo 4 if they don't fuck Diablo 4 up.
And even worse, man, because there's just no end to the shit show that is Warcraft 3 Reforged. But you're ready, right, Rev?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool. We're required to remove at least one players in order to play your filtered game modes. What? Why?
Did you get the DLC 2-pack, Pete? It's free.
How do you?
Oh, you're in free for all. Take free for all. That's why. You can't.
Oh,
yeah.
Why would it? That's fucking stupid. Okay.
Because every update, after every update,
they reset it.
reset
I
the
know, that's
filters,
stupid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the mute voice chat, that used to stay enabled unless you actually undid it. Now you got to re-enable it every game. Stupid. So the so Warcraft 3 Reforged comes out. Players start complaining. It's now the
Yep.
lowest rated game ever on Metacritic for
Ever of
user
ever.
score ever. Last I heard, it was at like 0.2. Point fucking 2.
And see, when I saw that shit this morning, it was at 0.8.
Terrible, dude. So starting to get, lowest rated game ever on fucking Metacritic. Blizzard does not have an option for refunds. So if you want a refund, players are having to submit a support ticket to the one of the live support options and try and get one of the, I don't know if it's admin, GM, whatever you want to call them, to refund it that way. A lot of them aren't even being able to get it refunded because they are running into, like, you've played the game too much and shit like that.
Yeah.
People were trying to help other people in the Blizzard forums by teaching them basically how to get refunds. So Blizzard was banning people who were helping other people get refunds. And that's just all silly nonsense. One of the worst things, in my opinion, is the changes to the map editor and custom game modes, because the map editor, whatever you want to call it, the game editor thing, is $30. And
Yep.
Blizzard has changed their terms of service for it, where anything anybody makes in that editor completely belongs to Blizzard 100%.
That's fun.
Because they don't want to lose out on the next Dota 2, because they were idiots last time and didn't want to offer the guy who made it anything for his work. And so they basically told him to fuck off. So then Valve made him an offer and he fucking took it.
My game is acting fun. God.
So now they don't want to lose out on anything like that ever again. So what they're doing is they're trying to basically claim everybody else's hard work. I mean, it'd be no different if Adobe were to try and say anything you make on Premiere belongs to us.
That would be, that's no.
Yeah,
And that is like, why one of the reasons, that's like, what's crazy though? Like, this is one of the things that, this is one of the things that ZeniMax tried to do with the modding community, was like claim the work that a lot of us did. All right, sounds good. They tried to claim a lot of the work that we did back on Oblivion, with the group that I used to be a part of, and they were saying that we couldn't, they wanted to make money on it, in other words, and this was like their alpha towards their online Nexus, or it was like a Nexus-like service. You know what I mean? Like you could purchase mods.
Yeah, whatever their version of it was.
Yeah. So like they took our mod down off their fucking site or whatever, and then they tried to say like, oh well, we're gonna sell it. Like, okay, then I'm just not gonna mod anymore.
Right.
Fuck modding. I'm done modding. I can't. Because, like, if I put all my hearts, if I look at it this way, if I love your game so much that my fat ass actually has energy enough to sit down with a group of people and make something, and it took a year to make, and then all of a sudden, like, because it got, somewhat popular, it got over, like, 1,000 downloads in its first week.
Sure.
Like, now it's like, you gotta take that away from me? Like, come on, man. Like, you should have never allowed me in the first place if this is what you were gonna do.
Right.
Like, this should have never been a fucking thing, dude. That's why I fell out of the modding community because of this, dude. It was fucking dumb.
Well, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. Like, they think that what's gonna happen is that modders are still gonna mod, and then they're gonna be able to snatch anything good and repackage it however they want and sell it as their own. But what's really going to happen is people just aren't going to mod their game. Because why would you
Yep.
spend all that work?
Right.
I mean, even beyond like forgetting the monetary thing, like because they think it's all about monetary, and it's like, no, dude, it has almost nothing to do with that because it's like modders do all this shit for free anyway. But it's like, why would
Exactly.
you spend all this time and effort on doing something like this just to have somebody come in and say, oh yeah, all your work, no, it's ours now, and
Mhm.
we're gonna go make money off of it. You couldn't make money off of it before, you know, you didn't. You put it out for free, but now we're gonna take it and we're gonna fucking do what we want with it, and we're gonna make money off of it. Like, fuck you guys, dude.
Yep, dude. Like it's just, yeah, dude. It's not fucking worth it, dude. It's not worth it anymore to have passion projects like this when it comes to these games that allowed modding to take place in the first place.
Right.
That is why I will always support people like Matt and Tim Schafer that do Torchlight. They're the ones that I think are the future of gaming, even though they're a small niche right now because they're not a standard. You know what I mean? They're going against the standard, and I promote that shit, dude. Like Torchlight 3. They said instead of making it a free to play, they're going to make it a one box purchase, and you're going to have all the premium content right off the rip.
Yeah, no,
You're not going to
no
have no item
microtransactions or
shops,
anything.
no
Yep.
microtransactions. Exactly. And he announced that 2 or 3 days ago. I just watched his channel. I support that shit. That's why I went back to Torchlight 1 recently because you know what? I missed the game with all the bullshit that's been going on with Blizzard. Like, I think these games need to be looked at. And
Well, I
given a
think these
chance again.
companies need to take a step back and realize that they're screwing over their communities hard,
Yeah.
Yep.
and they need to take a step back and realize, you know, what market are they going for? Because honestly, let's get real, they came out with a game that's broken as all hell.
Beyond
Okay.
broken.
Beyond broken, and it's not the first time I've seen this before. I saw this with Anthem.
Yep.
Like, you know, Blizzard really needs to I hope with Overwatch 2, I really fucking hope.
And that game just got to a playable state, by the way.
What?
Anthem is just now getting to a
Yeah,
playable state.
it took them forever.
I mean, they're turning it around. They've got a roadmap again for the 3rd time, and it seems like they're actually going to try to go for it.
But that ain't gonna do shit though. It's way too late.
You know what though? I'm gonna still play it, dude. I mean, I liked Anthem. I thought Anthem was a great game. I couldn't
I'll
get
join you back, gangster.
the
That's fine.
only reason why I haven't played any more of it is because there was still issues.
I can't.
Like
I'll
2
wait
or
for you
3
to be
months
done.
later, where like creatures were disappearing or despawning or they went invisible. So like I was dying from like invisible monsters and shit. And I was like, I can't deal with that shit.
Well, you had the rain textures causing artifacting within the Xboxes. How do you have like a really nice Xbox One X and have it literally artifact? Or make make the system run way too much.
Same way with the shadow bug that was in the PS4 on Overwatch, dog. Like,
I mean, honestly, Blizzard needs to take a step back and realize what their community wants. They're doing some games right, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And then certain others, it's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, seriously, like, you know, I figured Reforged was gonna be a remaster garbage fest, which is disappointing. It shouldn't have never been that way.
No, yeah. It should have just been like the StarCraft one. Just retexture it, add in some features that people are asking for, and launch it, you know, just like StarCraft, and it would have been perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Blizzard is technically owned by Activision, but there was a...
And Tencent.
And Tencent. There was a part of the agreement or whatever that Activision would not have any control over Blizzard's IPs, though.
Yeah.
So
only thing they could do is only thing they could do is put their branding in on the IP, but they can't.
Right.
Oh, and they also, if we're talking about games that actually had a successful launch, the card game for League of Legends, actually, I've heard nothing but good things about.
Oh, did it launch?
Yeah, it's in pre-beta right now.
Oh, I'm gonna go check that shit out, dude. Like, I'm actually looking forward to it.
I know Guilty and Duddy have been playing a shit ton of it.
Ooh.
So yeah, I mean, it's a damn shame because I mean, not only is Blizzard not rolling out any new IPs, but it seems like they're actively destroying the IPs they have.
Absolutely.
I agree with you.
You know,
This shit,
and
then,
it's ruining my childhood, man. Like, fuck, man. How many thousands of hours I spent on Warcraft 2, StarCraft 1, Warcraft 3, Diablo 2, and you know, it's like, fuck, guys. You had the golden goose. You had some of the best IPs in the market, and not only that, you had the support of all the gamers because you did shit right. You didn't rush games out. It was before it was, you know, they're done when they're done. You put out fucking great fucking games. Like, good God, man, World of Warcraft, like, you owned the market for fucking over a decade.
Over a decade, yeah.
You set the standard for all MMOs. Like, not to mention RTSs and even isometric, you know, action adventure games with Diablo. Like,
yeah, they originated with them, dude. That's what
fuck.
sparked the Neverwinter games. That's what sparked all of the D&D Forgotten Realm games, dude. Like, I mean, like Avondale and shit. Like, Diablo was literally the reason why Ragnarok Online was the first anime-inspired clone of D2. That's what they called it back in the day. Like, Diablo sparked not only the interest of a lot of people, but made an entire industry out of it. And it's so fucking invigorating dealing
not
with
to
this
mention
shit,
that just something as simple as custom maps for StarCraft, Warcraft, and all them. Like, Warcraft 3, Dota was started as a custom map on Warcraft 3. Like, and not just the game itself, one of the most popular games ever created ever, and now it's like I'm pretty sure. Certainly, they just had the tournament where they had the largest prize pool ever for a esports title, but I'm pretty sure that Dota is one of the biggest, like except for maybe League of Legends, the biggest esports title ever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you fucking cocksucker.
And it's like, how do you fuck that up?
I don't know, dude. That's the shit. That's the shit that you know. It's absolutely fucking annoying, dude. Like, I don't understand how these people went from, you know, a dynasty, dude, like a fucking legacy, even, to like now everybody's like, yo, do we, you know, what do we do from here? You know, like, I don't even think the guys at Blizzard know what the fuck they want to do now because of all the bullshit, dude.
No, yeah. I mean, it's sad, man. It's really sad, and I hate it because, like I said, I loved the original StarCraft. I loved the original Warcrafts. I loved Diablo. I loved World of Warcraft in the early days.
Yep.
Yeah, like, man, if you could have kept that going, you probably could have been the biggest gaming company ever to exist. But
Nope, they want to fuck themselves because money is what's more to them. And I get it. Like, money does keep businesses around. I understand that. But you shouldn't have to sacrifice your left foot to give to the right and then watch your right foot slowly decay because of the effects of what happened with the left foot. Like, why the fuck are you going to make yourself a cripple? You know what I mean? Jesus fucking Christ.
yeah,
Dude,
why
it's
gimp
dumb.
yourself?
Yeah, it's dumb.
When they've already shown that you can make good games and make money at the same time, because good God, man, I don't even know if there was a game that was more profitable than World of Warcraft.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah,
there was a few
ever.
that came close to it. There was a few that came close to it, like Guild Wars 1 had very large numbers. In fact, it was the only thing rivaling it. I mean, you're talking about a game that literally killed another decade-long dynasty, and that was EverQuest 1. Like, it fucking shattered that game, dude. The community just said fuck it and left because Sony wasn't going to update their game and fix the issues that the community was talking about. So what they do? Everybody went to World of Warcraft.
Yep.
Instantly. And
not just
I'm
everybody there, but like
Mhm.
10 times that amount of people total. You know,
Yeah.
it brought MMOs
Yeah.
into the mainstream gaming, where before they were real niche. But
Yep.
with World of Warcraft, everybody was playing World of Warcraft, man. Fucking everybody.
Right? At one point, they were the highest game out there. At one point,
Oh yeah,
I knew
yeah,
all
by
my friends in
far.
high school, all my friends in elementary school were playing that shit. Draining banking accounts just to play the shit.
Yeah, fucking nuts, man.
It was like
I
either
just-
that. It was either that or Halo, man. Back in the day.
Yeah,
It's
the
like,
only
which
things
one-
that were competing with it were games that were not competing with it, like Halo, Call of Duty, Counter Strike. You know, it was games that were completely different genres. So you know, it's not like it's. I mean, it's still competition, but it's not like, you know, Call of Duty competing with Battlefield or something. You know, so yeah, fucking, unreal, man. And speaking of Blizzard nonsense, so I watched a interesting video, read a couple articles about how the Overwatch League is on its last legs, man.
Oh jeez,
So,
what happened?
so, well, this has been a long time coming, and I called this shit a long ass time ago, if y'all remember.
Yeah.
The so what Blizzard, they wanted a couple things. One, they wanted Overwatch League to be a huge esports success without putting in any of the time or effort into it. You know, they just wanted to start broadcasting and have it be huge, which, I mean, that just doesn't happen. It took games like League and Dota and Counter-Strike years before they started, you know, really getting a solid following on for their esports leagues.
Yeah.
Second is that they basically want, I think there's even quotes of, I can't remember who, but higher up people at Blizzard saying they wanted Overwatch League to be run like the NFL, which it's like, man, gamers don't want
they've
sports.
they've already started that. They've been doing that.
Well, it's already Olympic sport already.
Yeah, it's an Olympic sport, and it's not. I mean, it's not broadcasted on national television. I don't think, is it?
Yes, it is.
is.
Overwatch
Is it?
is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Blizzard.
so is League.
Blizzard
I
paid
haven't. I don't
for
watch normal TV.
time slots on ESPN and shit.
So ESPN when they go live, they're on ESPN, ESPN3, and also ABC, the main station.
But it's like, you know, if gamers wanted to watch sports, we'd watch sports. Like, gaming isn't sports. Like, they're different things. And I think the guy who made the video, I can't remember his name, I'll have to look it up later, but he had a really good point when he said they are trying to apply a whole bunch of old, outdated models to something that's basically brand new. And he's absolutely right. It's like, you know, the NFL's not doing well, and neither are any of the other sports franchises, you know. I mean, they're hanging in there, and some of them are doing okay, but they're not like they were in their heyday. So, like, they're not a good model to go after. But yeah, it's, and then beyond that, lately it's been real bad because they are losing top players. They're losing top players, they're losing other contributors, they're losing, I can't remember what else it was. They're losing something else, and then the numbers just came out, and not only is the Overwatch League as a whole, but also just about every one of the franchise teams, they've all been operating at a loss for several years now. So
You're not wrong with that.
yeah, it's not looking good. It's really not. And again, like greed is part of it. Like not only do they want to, or did they want Overwatch League to be, amazingly popular right from the get-go, but like, man, some of the requirements, they started out and it was what, a $20 million, $20 million fee to Blizzard for as a franchise fee. So if you wanted to set up your own team, you had to pay $20 million to Blizzard just to be able to compete in the Overwatch League. And then after the first year, they upped that to $50 million. $50 million to have a team in the Overwatch League. Like, I can't think of a more ridiculous thing than that. Like, I can understand a few tens of thousands of dollars, maybe $100,000 or $200,000. $50 million? That's fucking ludicrous. That's absolutely insane. And not only that, part of the contract for having a team in the Overwatch League specifies that Blizzard has final control over what
You may want to play a few without me, man.
Okay. Blizzard has final control over what sponsorships you can take, and Blizzard gets a 50% cut of any sponsorships you get.
No.
Yeah, like
that's
unreal, dude. Not just that either.
They don't have any business dipping into other people's sponsorships, dude. That is not their business.
And not just that, but also it applies to merchandise sales. Blizzard gets a 50% cut of all merchandise sales. And it's like I said, they want it to be the NFL. So it's worked out like the NFL, where any merchandise sales for the NFL, they all go into a big pool. The NFL takes their cut, and then that pool is spread evenly throughout the teams, which, I mean, you could make arguments both for and against that. I mean, it's fair in that it balances out, so that way, like, it's not just the super popular teams that are getting money, because obviously the super popular teams wouldn't be popular without the other teams to play against. But I don't think the NFL takes a 50% cut of those merchandise sales. Whereas Blizzard wants fucking half, and then everybody else gets just their little percentage of the half that's left. Like, God, man. Again,
that's
Blizzard,
some fucking balls, dude.
Right? Like, Blizzard, you had the golden fucking goose. You had a great game that was real simple, or simple enough so that it was easy to watch, which is important, because, like, as fun as it is for me to watch Dota 2, it's hard to understand if you're not a Dota 2 player. So it's not like you're going to get a whole bunch of people who don't understand the game to watch it. Whereas with Overwatch, it's pretty fucking simple. You can get a lot of people who don't play the game Overwatch, but could still watch it because, it's real easy to follow. And, like, it was amazingly popular. It had tons of players. It had the perfect setup for fast-paced, fun-to-watch action that, you could stream easy and have tournaments and shit like that. Like, you had the Golden Goose, Blizzard. Again, like another one, and you managed to fuck it up. And that's not even talking about Overwatch 2. Like, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think Overwatch 2 is going to be the death of fucking Overwatch as a whole.
I don't want to jump to that conclusion. I mean, yeah, it's pretty grim right now with what's going on, but I don't want to. And of course, Warcraft 3, but still, like, I really don't want to, like, be so jaded to think that everything's going to be a failure. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I
if
want to still have somewhat hope. You know what I mean?
you want to hold out a little bit,
A
if
little
they
bit
were
before I become a
not,
jaded bastard. Yes.
if they weren't splitting their player base, I'd be totally down with holding on to some hope. But splitting the player base is going to kill, in my opinion, is going to kill it, because I mean this is the problem that every game like this has had since the beginning of time. Every Call of Duty, every Battlefield, every everything. As soon as you offer something that people have to purchase in order to keep playing, you get a whole bunch of people that don't want to do it, and then you've just halved your player base, because the people who bought it, they all want to play the new stuff, but the old people don't, because they don't have it and they don't want to purchase it. So now everybody's playing with a half or a third or whatever it is of the player base that they used to, and it doesn't immediately kill games or 100% kill games, but it certainly leads to their downfall if they are not already, if they are at all faltering in their success. Doing stuff like that just ends up killing it, and I think that's what's going to happen to Overwatch, because they're not doing great at the moment, and it's like, why would I purchase Overwatch 2? I barely enjoy playing the first one.
That is
You
fair,
know,
dude. It's very
it's like,
fair.
I don't like what they're doing with competitive. I don't like what they're doing with the league, and I don't want to pay another $40 to $60 game just to get a slightly tuned up engine with a few extra maps and a few extra characters. It's like, God, again, you don't have to do that. Like, there was no reason. Dota 2 has been releasing new characters and new items and equipment and all that kind of shit for forever. And they're free to play. And they're free to play with cosmetic only microtransactions.
Right.
And Overwatch isn't even close to doesn't even have close to the amount of content. Like, one patch of Dota 2 can have as much content as like an entire year of releases in Overwatch. Like, how many new characters have they released since the game came out? 4? 5?
5.
5 characters, and what, a handful of skins for each character? Like, fuck, man. Dota 2, how many new characters has Dota 2 launched in the last couple years? 10? And they already had 70 to begin with, or whatever ludicrous number they've got.
Yeah.
And then that's not even including, I mean, fucking every character gets new skins all the time. And they're releasing new items and not just new skins for the characters, but then every season they put out new, like, what would you call it? Like overlays, the map itself doesn't change, but they'll change like the season, or they'll change the theme of it or something like that. And they're releasing new UE elements and like just content, and it's all fucking. I mean, you can get it all for free if you play long enough, but certainly it's dirt cheap even if you want to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no excuse for making a new game with the amount of content that they are purporting to be launching with Overwatch 2.
Right.
And again, like, even Dota 2, they even did an engine change for free right in the middle of the life cycle. Like, I think it was like 3 years ago when the new Dota 2 engine launched. Like, and that was a complete ground up rework. Like, they completely changed that engine. As far as I know, Overwatch 2 isn't even going to be a complete ground up rework. Like, as far as I know, they're still using basically the same engine. They're just updating like the graphics and shit like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's It's a sad day when Blizzard has become the new EA.
It's not something that we would ever expect either, though.
Right?
I mean, like, it's not something that, like, I never thought I would ever be in a generation where, like, some of the most prominent, most legendary fucking gaming developers stoop so low for a buck, you know? I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean,
That's weird.
especially given Blizzard's track record. Like, fuck, man. They held out for almost the longest against all this shit. They didn't have microtransactions for the longest time. You know, their expansion packs or DLC, whatever you want to call it, has always been on point. You know, like, the amount of content you get for what you pay has always been fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, man, what the fuck happened, Blizzard?
They got greedy. That's what it was.
Apparently, man.
I never thought, like, you know, because, like, here's the thing, right? Like, usually when Tencent gets involved with shit, they tend to improve upon a formula that company's done, right? Like PUBG, you know, they improved upon it with, you know, Rings of Elysium. Like, Rings of Elysium runs better, you know, and it feels better even. But then, like, I was expecting the same thing to sort of happen with Blizzard. Like, they own shares in Blizzard, so I figured, okay, so we're gonna expect some, you know, quality improvements and life changes in some of these games. And I don't know if Blizzard's just, like, trying to make sure it doesn't happen or what. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, you can hold out hope, and I hope they do. I hope they bring it back, because, like I
Yeah.
said, Blizzard games have been some of my favorite of all time.
Same.
You know, yeah, and I don't want to see those franchises die, but fuck, man. Yeah, it's not
So-
looking good.
What do you have? What do you have up next up for the docket, sir?
I've got the story where the ESL, Esports League, I think,
Yeah.
is asking fans to come up with ideas to save E3 because they don't know what to do.
Well, the problem with E3 is, I'll tell you right now, all these big companies are pulling out to go do their own events, kind of like Apple, Samsung. I mean, do you blame them really when they
No.
don't have anything for CES has become a shit show, really. There's nothing really there except prototypes and what we're going to get for the future. I mean, I think they should push CES back a little bit in the year. You know, that would be better, and I think E3 should be pushed back
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
Less events yearly. Do it like every 2 days. Way all the good shit can actually be coming, you know, come into fruition. Because, like,
If-
how many games have been announced at
How
these
about-
games,
how about
at
this?
these events, and they've been canceled?
How about
Right?
this?
Like-
How about this? They do it in August. Instead of July or June, do it in August. That's like a good middle ground for when the new shit's coming out, and all these vendors and companies can be more prepared. Instead of releasing it half-assed, you know, in June.
Yeah.
But
And another thing is, you know, at E3 they had a side event called E for All, and the reason why it flopped was that, well, they were overcharging and they didn't have nothing there to give to us as in fans.
yeah,
And what's happening with the with, you know, esports is, honestly, they're dying. It's a dying, like, nobody's watching it like everybody used to. That's why it's dying. So it's two dying things. They either adapt or they don't.
well, I think one of the biggest things is they want to become like sports where
Right. It never works that way.
and it doesn't, yeah, because like one of the like especially I think one of the biggest things is where they try and outlaw shit talking. And it's like, dude, that's like half the reason why people love watching video game tournaments. This shit
That's
like
why you
that.
like watching sports for, is watching the NFL players shit talk each other.
And if they,
And they-
you know what though, like if they want to run this bitch like the NFL, they're gonna have to allow it, dude. Simple as that.
They are committed to not, and it's gonna kill them. Because like I've said this before too, but back when Overwatch League was first rolling, all of the Facebook groups that I was a part of, all the gaming ones, all of the Overwatch specific ones, they were talking more about the controversy surrounding who were the two guys. There was the one that told the gay guy that he sucked dick, and then
I'm triggered.
and then there was the other one. Was he Korean? Fuck, man, I can't remember. But yeah, he did some shit talking and he got in trouble. And people were talking more about those guys than they were about the actual games. And it's like that's what gets people hyped up for this shit. It's the whole reason why the Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor fight was so hyped up, was because of the shit talking that Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor were doing to each other before the match. I mean, Conor McGregor showing up in that suit with the fuck you pinstripes. That was just
That was
fucking
awesome.
brilliant.
That was awesome. He's
Yeah.
a good showman, dude. I'll give him that. He's a great showman.
Yeah. And it gets people hyped. Like, people were scalping tickets to a free press event and selling them because people were so hyped up to see the smack talking and stuff that they were paying for a free event. Like, this is the kind of stuff that gets people hyped for your events, and when you try and stop it, you just kill all interest.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So yeah, they're gonna have to learn, man. It's like you're gonna have to allow this stuff if you want people to care, because it's what's fun. It's what people get excited about.
Bro, I'm trying to figure out, like, when the fuck did people lose their backbone, dude? Like, when did that become a thing?
When we became an SJW society.
That's exactly it, man.
When people started saying, "Oh, my kids need a trophy in my life." It's like there is number 1, there's number 2, and number 3. Anything after that, you know, I lost a lot, and I didn't get a trophy. Come on, it toughs you up, literally.
Yeah.
Or they go, "Oh, hey, you know that guy that lost so badly? Oh yeah, let me go bring a gun to the event and shoot people because that's not a thing."
Yeah.
So, it's a lot of that going on, and a lot of people are like, everybody's got to be perfect. I got to be politically correct all the time. That's how this has been the last 8 years?
Oh well, there was political correctness came about first in like the early 90s, but it got squashed pretty hard. Especially because comedians went, Saturday Night Live and a bunch of others went after it pretty hard.
I'll put it this way. Back in the day, you had Jerry Rice talking so much shit, and we loved it. Now it's like, no, you don't. In the NFL, it's becoming a 2-hand touch league.
Yep.
You can't touch the quarterback without, you could take Tom Brady for that.
And they ban end zone dances and shit.
Well, now they brought him back, but yeah, they banned that for a while, and they brought it back recently. It's just one thing after another. How much, esports never going to last if you can't allow some shit talking to happen or hyped up stuff.
Yeah.
Because why did we get hype up when Michael Jordan would go in? Because Michael Jordan was a good shit talker, but a great athlete.
Yeah.
Why did we watch Kobe? Well, the reason why I watched Kobe was because, he let the talking in his game, Esports is going to die off. They're just flendering right now. They just got YouTube money or Google money. I don't think that's going to help them. And
It'll help, but it won't help in the long. It'll just let them gasp their dying breaths a little bit longer.
Right.
Yeah. The other thing too, like, I think part of it is the moves that, like, especially Blizzard, again, fucking fuck you, Blizzard. When StarCraft 2 came out and they made it so that there was no such thing as LAN games anymore. So you could not hold a tournament outside of what Blizzard, outside of the Blizzard ecosystem. That was a big thing too, because a lot of what gets people like what's the fighting game tournament that I like? What, Evo? Part of the reason people love watching Evo every year is because,
Hype.
well, not just the hype. I mean, but part of the reason why they get hyped about it is because it's the culmination of a whole bunch of rivalries that happen throughout the year at other smaller tournaments.
Yep.
So you get a whole bunch of small tournament leagues that crop up in, like, Japan and the US and, South America or Europe or wherever. And so you get, like, local stars that win in those leagues, and people love following those guys through those tournaments. And then for, the big end of the year, or, it's not the end of the year, but, for the big end of the season or whatever you want to call it for the tournament, you get all these guys coming in who people care about and have watched through a bunch of smaller tournaments, and they get to see them all compete with each other in a giant, no holds barred fucking rumble of all the
Yeah.
best players from around the world. And that can't happen anymore with the way Blizzard and a whole bunch of other esports titles are doing it with their tournaments, where you have to go through Blizzard to run a tournament. And it's like, well, that just means most of those tournaments aren't going to run because Blizzard charges ludicrous amounts for doing stuff like that. And they don't want to pay that shit. And honestly, they shouldn't have to. To me, it's fucking silly. Like, why should I have to pay Blizzard to run a tournament on my own? I mean, it's not like it's official or anything. It's not esports league or Overwatch league. If I want to host my own tournament and, put up my own money for a prize pool, what right does Blizzard have to say that I can't do that?
I agree. It's
And
not
again,
right.
like, these decisions, man, they're killing the esports industry.
I agree.
They're like you were saying, man, it's the greediness and the quest for profits. It's really hampering. Like, if they weren't so focused on making as much money as they possibly could off of this shit, they would be making so much money they wouldn't know what to do with it all. Because, fuck, man, like, I could have easily seen Overwatch League blowing the fuck up if it didn't cost $50 million to fucking have a team, if you could run tournaments outside of the Blizzard ecosystem, if all this shit wasn't locked down by Blizzard. Like, so many people, I mean, just look at fucking Dota, man. A free-to-play game, and it's the biggest fucking prize pool that's ever been offered for you. I can't even remember. It was I got to look that up because I'm interested. Dota 2 International Prize Pool 2019. $32 million. $32 million fucking dollars for the prize pool. for Dota 2.
Yeah.
Unreal, man. They've got that much money. That's all from, or it's not all, but most of that is just from people buying the international Dota 2 pass. And it's like, a certain cut of that goes to the for the prize pool, and then Valve also puts up their own cash for that too. But most of that's coming just from people paying to be a part of the action or whatever. Because they offer there's like in-game items and stuff you can get and all that kind of stuff, so that there's more than just watching the tournament.
Right.
But yeah, man, like that's how much money Dota 2 can make on a free-to-play game on one fucking tournament, just from players willingly purchasing the tickets.
The tickets, the passes,
yeah, for whatever reason, right? Whether it's they just want to watch the tournament, or whether it's because they want the items and stuff that you can get with the pass or whatever, right? For whatever reason, that's how much money they're making with that kind of shit. Blizzard could have been doing that if they hadn't have been so fucking greedy.
Bro, fucking, I have a boy that lives in Los Angeles. He's a teacher. He goes to Washington every year for Dota. That's how much he loves the game. He goes to Washington. He buys all the peripherals. That's Dota. I mean, he is obsessed.
Yeah.
Like, and the reason for it is because of what we just stated, dude. Like, there's hardly any corporate greed. I mean, they're making their money. They're not gouging us. It's also why League of Legends is so goddamn popular, because it's in the same boat, They're not gouging. They're making their money on their market for skins and shit.
Right.
They also do their own tournaments, and they're also fucking huge.
Yep.
I mean, I get it, dude. I get why these games are played so much. I get why the community loves them so much, why they become such a huge esport. And I think Blizzard needs to take a look at them and be like, okay, we need to do that.
Right?
Again.
You think they would?
They did it with Heroes, dude. The Heroes did pretty good, but evidently not good enough according to their shareholders. And that's the main problem too, isn't it? Those fucking shareholders have way too much say-so what can they say or do.
Probably.
I hate that shit, dude. I hate that shit more than anything.
Yeah, because, I mean, like I said, they had the golden goose, and it's their own damn fault for its failure. And, I mean, I'm not going to say 100% that it's either the shareholders or the higher-up brass at Blizzard or whatever, but whoever it is, it could be one, the other, or both, but whoever it is, it's like you guys are engineering your own fucking downfall.
You played yourself.
Yeah, because this shit can and does succeed often. There are so many examples. Dota, League of Legends, Counter-Strike's still got a great esports. I mean, it's never really been all that big, but they're still around and they're still kicking, and they still do well.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's a shame too, because I would love to see esports succeed.
So yeah, so would I, dude. And that's the thing, right? Like, I would love for this market to become more diverse with different games. Like,
oh yeah,
everybody plays Call of Duty. Everybody plays fucking, Counter-Strike. Like, I mean, yeah, those games are great. I'm not dissing on them. I just want to see more different venues, other than fucking MOBAs and FPSs. And that's
or even just a wider range of those. Like, how about Battlefield?
Yeah.
I'd love to see a Battlefield League or Destiny 2.
Yep. Destiny 2 would be dope.
Yeah. I'd play the shit out of a Destiny 2 league, like a real competitive Destiny 2 league.
Oh yeah.
'Cause that game's
Definitely.
super fucking fun. and it's a little harder with RTSs because there haven't really been many out that lead
StarCraft 2's
themselves.
been really the only one that's been successful at it.
And even then, like I said, because of Blizzard's shenanigans, they've been holding themselves back.
Yeah.
Because all the other RTSs that are out, like, you know, recent, they're all like Civilization and stuff, which aren't really, you can't really do esports with that. You know, they're too slow paced, they're too complicated, they're too big and grand and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's why the Blizzard RTSs were so great, because not that they were simple, but they were simple enough that, you know, they were fun to watch, they were fast enough paced, you know, it wasn't hours and hours for a game, you know. And there haven't been any of those that have come out recently, although I think isn't Command and Conquer getting a redo?
Yeah.
So I could see a Command and Conquer
They used to have them. They used to have Command and Conquer tournaments all the time.
yeah.
And they were actually some of the better ones to watch too, because they were fast action.
Right. Yeah, Command and Conquers were great games, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, and obviously card games, you could always have card games.
Hearthstone's doing pretty good, even though they've like sort of killed their community, brought it back, killed their community, brought it back.
Right.
They're on a constant roller coaster with that game because they don't know what they want to do with it. You know, it's like, God, fucking make up your mind. You guys are doing really well 1 minute, and then you charge a premium for cards, and then you take those cards out that people pay for and don't even offer refunds. Like, what the fuck?
Yep. Or like I could see Gwent.
Gwent would be good, yeah.
Yeah. That'd be fun to watch. It's a real quick. It's simple, but it's got deep strategy. You know, there's a lot you can do with it.
Oh yeah.
And the games are real. They, you know, they don't last very long, so it's real easy to have a whole bunch of games going in a row. Yeah. You know. Yeah,
The League of Legends card game's coming up, and we got a few friends that are playing that, and they're saying that's really. I'm looking forward to that. If it's anything like, they say it's like a. So far, what I've been told, it's like a hybrid of Magic the Gathering and Hearthstone.
Okay.
I'm like, I could be down with that. Shit, I like Hearthstone and I like Magic, so hey.
Yeah, it's magical, man. I've noticed this now on the system. Like, if I go to borderless full screen, fucking I get shitty frames. If I go to full screen, oh my god, dramatic difference.
In what game?
This game, Call of
In
Duty?
Modern Warfare?
Yeah.
That's interesting, because I get actually really good performance with borderless full screen.
It's interesting. I'm hitting 175, 180. Put on borderless full screen, it goes down to 60.
That's interesting. Yep. Like I said, I'd love to see more and bigger esports, because I love watching Evo every year. It's great fun. Oh my
Evo's
god.
great.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna start going to it next year. I'm gonna start putting days off for it to go.
I'd be down for that. Yeah, because every year, man, me and my brother, we love watching Evo. It's so fun watching the
Minus the mess up they did
competition.
this year.
Yeah.
What'd they do this year?
Nobody could watch it because they didn't live stream it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was
I forgot
broken.
about that.
The live stream
Yeah.
was broken. And you had to basically watch it off of somebody's phone, which was shitty. I felt bad. Who should be fired for that event?
Right. But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. If they got this right, I mean, it could spawn. God, just thinking about Evo, man, just tens of thousands of players, all of the fucking money being made by so many different people and businesses, you know, just for this one tournament once a year. If esports could actually take off and have a real future, You know, like how much industry could be supported just from that,
Yep,
you
I
know?
agree.
And it's like, yeah. I mean, just thinking about all the Japanese, Chinese, or yeah, I think it's Chinese, you know, European, South American. This, I don't know if there were any, like, I don't think there were any African players who were sponsored, but just about every other continent and just about fucking 90% of the countries in the world had at least one player at that tournament. And it's like, you know, big companies like Sony and Microsoft and stuff, they're putting up big dollars to send these players to this tournament, you know. So it's like, fuck, man. How great would it be if there were tournaments like that all the time for all sorts of different games? You know?
They should space it out though, I think.
Oh, sure, yeah, you know, like obviously,
Yeah,
I'm not
it
saying
goes
like
back.
all at one time or anything like that, but
It goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's like, you know, Blizzard takes 10 steps forward, 10 steps back. There's so much money they could be making right now. Like I think they butchered an opportunity. Their Overwatch League, if they really wanted to, they could have it. Why have it exclusive? If you want more money and more people to see the product, right? Why not have it on everything? Have it on Mixer, have it on D Live, have it on all these places. You know, to me, I think it's a missed opportunity.
yeah,
It's like Evo. Evo is on everything. It's like you can't deny that it's on everything. It's making hand over fist. Why? Because it's hyped. People want to see it. People buy merchandise. Things are being
yep.
sold. Razer fight pads are getting sold. Hori fight pads are being sold. It's money for the vendors,
The
and
the sponsors are paying out big money, but man, do they get a lot of exposure,
they get
you
it back
know?
in return because so many
Yeah,
people buy so much shit.
Oh yeah, look at the Kwanba sales when Daigo was using Kwanba, dude. Like,
yep,
bro, like like they went from branching off of Adark to like making their own shit.
Well,
And it was like,
you want a prime example of right now who's hurting the most right now. WWE, they lost over $1.6 billion in revenue this year alone. The reason why for it is when you put out shitty product and you literally, you know, condemn everybody down to exclusivity to your app and you're not putting it out to everybody, that's a problem. I mean,
yep,
let me know when you're watching an Overwatch League event, right? You're watching it, right? What's the point of watching it when their announcers are boring? What's the
right?
point? There's no hype. So why am I going to waste time watching something that's not hyped? That I could sit and watch a replay as I'm freaking sleeping to go to bed to.
I mean, that's
There's
one of the
no,
best parts about Evo is the announcers, man.
you're
They
right,
get
Golden
into it
Boy.
and they're shit talking and fucking. It's great, man. It's hilarious.
Do you know Golden Boy is being signed? He got signed to AEW, and he's also going to be the second announced team part of it. I'm so excited for that
Nice.
because he's a good hype man.
Yeah,
Like he made Evo great. He's still going to be doing Evo, but he said, the money, that he got offered from AEW. I don't blame him. Take the money and you could be a hype man. I
yeah,
mean, he's a great hype man. He doesn't read from a script like some of these freaking people do. Read it from a prompter, and it's stupid.
right.
And you're wondering why things are dying. The NFL is not dying. It's becoming the same thing over and over again. We watch the Super Bowl once a year. We watch the playoffs once a year. Most of us don't even watch the regular season. We watch the freaking playoffs.
Yep.
And they wonder why the playoffs does so well. Well, I'll tell you why it does so well is because there's hype behind it. And then the NBA wants to go to a tournament type style instead of the playoffs. It's ridiculous. It's like, come on, keep to your tradition and just hype it up a little bit better. But Blizzard's fucking up everywhere. Literally with their remasters. I'm hoping Overwatch 2 is going to do well, as I'm an Overwatch fan. But if they fuck that up, I'm kind of just throwing my hands up in the air. It's kind of an EA kind of situation. Because EA's kind of turned themselves around in the last couple of years.
I know, right?
They're giving it back to Battlefield V, Battlefield V is giving you free shit.
Yeah, second free update now. Yeah.
I mean, look at Call of Duty. They're extending their I mean, it's a Blizzard product or it's an Activision product, but look at what they're doing with this one. They need to take what they're doing with this and literally put it out there to everything else. Like, how do you make Call of Duty like great again, but you fuck everything else up? Because they're extending the season pass. Like, you've had 4 weeks of extension now at this point to either buy it and get all your tiers or collect your coin for the next season pass. I mean,
Yep.
there's really no, I don't know, Activision I just feel is weird.
Well, and the best part, you don't have to buy the season pass.
Yeah.
Like, man.
You could earn it. You could earn that bit.
Well, not just that. I mean, you don't even have to buy it. You don't have to have it, period. If you don't care about the stuff, you don't need it to play the game, and you don't need, and there's no separation between people who have it and people who don't, man. God, fucking, I hear Rags and Mauler bitching about instances thing. They just don't like Call of Duty, and that's fine. But they hate on this game way more than they would if it was a game that they liked, because this is exactly how microtransactions should be done, or DLC or whatever. You know, it's an optional purchase where it's nothing that really affects the gameplay, and it doesn't split the player base. All the new maps come out for everybody, so you're not limited to, you know, classic only or whatever if you don't buy the season pass. And not only can you actually earn it in game if you really want it, but you don't even have to buy it if you don't want. There's nothing you can't.
Yeah, it's optional.
Yeah, there's nothing you can't play with the DLC, with the expansion pack, that you can't play without it. And it's like perfect. That's how you do monetization. You know?
It's perfect. Yeah, I agree with you there.
You know, and it's like, yeah, how does Activision do this, but then Blizzard fucks literally everything up?
Amen. And a good move streaming platform wise, Mixer, man. Look what they're fucking doing. They're kind of cleaning house. I mean, they're really cleaning house. They're going after all these, you know, free sub places and following places and clean the shit out. I'm kind of glad about that. They're focusing on the interface and getting it better. You guys haven't heard that in the news. Meanwhile, Twitch is losing ground, and Mixer and DLive seem like they're upgrading their shit. I wouldn't be surprised if Mixer gets into the action of buying esports shit.
Or DLive, man. If I was DLive, that's what I would try and do.
Well, DLive just went after Turret Freaks. Their servers and everything that hosts a whole bunch of turret stuff, they went after that hardcore, and I can't blame them for it.
Right.
It's more servers for everybody. Better for streaming.
Yeah.
DLive's making silent moves, but you got to give them credit.
Yeah. I like DLive. I like that platform a lot.
DLive's encoder, whatever they're doing with the transcoding, is fantastically done.
They're probably one of the best starter streams to come out with since 2018 they've been out? 17?
They're taking what
Something
Twitch
like
is
that.
doing. They're taking Twitch's transcoding, and they're just making it better. I mean, it looks clean when you watch DLive stream. I know there's not a lot of people on there. That's why once it gets flooded with people on it, it will probably change. You know, but their coding is amazing. They're taking the same method as YouTube. I'd be on YouTube hardcore if they would just, you know, fix a few of the interaction shit.
Well, and their policies are kind of garbage. You know, I mean, that's one of the big things I like about DLive is their policies are not garbage. They're going for monetization with a cryptocurrency base, which means you can't get like, you know, PayPal or MasterCard or any of them banning you because they don't like your politics or whatever. And it looks like they're a solid ass company that's doing good work. Yeah, whenever I get around to streaming, I'm definitely gonna be doing it on D Live.
Well, Facebook's booming, but the problem is with Facebook is they don't have the interaction tools right now, like a D Live, a Twitch,
Right.
or a Mixer has. That's their downside. Like, Facebook is booming hand over fist. I agree with the YouTuber called Epis Fox. If you guys have watched it before. And he was talking in his show, you know, the problem is with Facebook is if you have a great following, you're going to get somewhere. If you don't have that following, you're really shit out of luck.
Yeah.
I mean, they need the interaction features on Facebook, but D-Live people underestimate. I mean, what is going on, man? Game's lagging everywhere. Good God.
I wish open world PvP would come to Final Fantasy 14. That's what I wish. What's up, JC? I wish the last blade makes a comeback with the same 2D animation that Dragon Ball Fighter Z has. Be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Shit. Let's see. Okay.
So what's the next one, fellers?
That's about it, I would think.
Let's see. There was.
Oh,
yeah,
the wheelchair.
There's that.
There's an adapter. There's an adapter that you can plug into your Xbox now. That if you're somebody that's wheelchair bound and you like say you're fucked and you can't really do much, you can play games with it. If you like, it actually turns your wheelchair into a controller. So if you only have let's say you have like one finger left and you could just move the joystick and you have a nub for an arm on the other, or cripple, you have arthritis or some shit. It will allow you to turn all the functionalities that are in your wheelchair into a fully functioning controller. I thought that was fucking brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, kudos to them.
Because think about all the streamers that I've watched, and not that these guys can't game anyways, because I've seen amazing talent on Twitch. These guys are playing with their tongues, dog. Like,
right.
And they're doing good. That's the crazy part. Like, there was this dude I was watching. He got a fucking 3 wins in a row in PUBG. I'm like, dog, he's playing with his tongue. How the fuck? Yo, he's playing better with his tongue than I can with my hand, dude. That is insane to me.
Yeah. ReviewTech made a video about Nintendo's hacker. Know anything about that? Haven't seen it yet. No, I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, they got the guy to admit that what he did was steal assets from them.
Oh shit.
What? Yeah, he got them to it. They got him to admit it. Yeah.
Huh. What did he steal them from?
I honestly don't know. I just know that evidently he stole some assets or whatever. I'm guessing maybe parts of the OS or the OS maybe, or the software itself. I don't know.
Interesting. Did he use it for anything?
I think he did. I think he was doing homebrew shit with it.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So probably trying to mod the Switch.
Yeah.
Which I thought Right to Repair made all that shit legal anyway.
Not every state's following suit with Right to Repair though.
No, it was federal.
Oh, it's federal now.
Yeah, but I think it was only for the ruling that was made that on the federal level was only for hardware, because it made warranty void if remove stickers unenforceable and shit like that. Now, obviously, the natural evolution of that is you can also modify the software. They have to allow you to modify the software. But I don't think there was a specific ruling on that made yet, so that might be why it's still technically you can have it, be against terms of service and have it to where you can ban people for doing it or whatever. Although I could have swore there was a ruling on that made as well. But I'd have to do some research into that because I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, I mean, you know, I I mean, I want to see all these platforms go open source for this shit anyway.
Same.
You know, I mean,
Same.
the homebrew that happened with the PlayStation Portable was amazing. It was so cool. And if Sony had just opened that shit up from the beginning, man, oh my god, how popular would the fucking PSP and maybe even the Vita had been, or would have been, if they had opened that shit up and let people, you know, write their own apps for it and shit like that. I mean, just look at Android. You know, it's like people will do amazing things with open source,
Oh
and
yeah, dude.
I see this again. You know, it's not quite maybe to the level of Blizzard, but you know, it's these companies think, you know, maybe they're afraid of piracy or, you know, whatever. I guess I could see that maybe, but it's like all you have to do is look at Android or the PC for that matter. The letting people write their own apps and games and stuff for your hardware, all it does is make that hardware more popular. It extends the life cycle because you're not beholden to, you know, if there's problems or if there's a niche that's not being filled by, you know, whatever current software is available for it, like people will fix that for you. You know, because it's
You just gotta
hard,
be
man.
willing.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing, you know, it's hard. Like, you know, if Sony and their coders are the only ones making apps, like not games obviously, but apps for, you know, their PSP or the Vita or the PS4 or whatever it is, you know, yeah, I mean it's tough, man. You know, you get a bug or something like that, or you want to implement a new feature, like it's a lot of work. You know,
It
it's like
is. Yeah.
let let people do it themselves because they're perfectly, you know, the modding community shows this, the Android community shows this, the Windows community shows, and Linux too. You know, people do the work themselves.
Willfully.
Yeah, yeah, you get to reap the benefits because once all that stuff is put out, that just increases the appeal of your system to more people. You know, because maybe people, you know, they see a couple games they like, but it's just like, you know, I don't really feel like purchasing it for just those couple of games. But
Yeah.
then you get a vibrant mod community, and all of a sudden it's like, oh man, look at all these different game and software options I have for free. You know, why not buy it if I can get all this stuff for free?
Right. Your game is
Yeah, JC, no, consoles are not open source systems right now, which, yeah, like I said, it's to
That'll
me,
change. I think it'll change.
yeah, it will eventually. Well, like I said, right to repair is going to change it forcefully if, you know, eventually. Um, you know, because like that's, like I don't know how Tesla gets away with it, with locking their systems and software behind basically a password or whatever you want to call it, to where you can't. I mean, it's not even modify. Like they don't even let you repair your own stuff. Like if you have a Tesla and it needs a repair, you have to go to a Tesla place to get it fixed
Not
because,
necessarily, dude. A lot of the community has found ways to
well, they
dissect
found
it.
ways around it, but they will deny you warranty for that. And like I said, I don't know how they're getting away with that because certainly for the hardware element of it, that shit's been ruled on a long time ago for like cars and stuff. Now the software element, like I said, I don't know if there's been a specific ruling on that, but I could have swore there was, and I mean, yeah, like there was that Joe Rogan podcast with that black kid who started his own uh, Tesla shop
Yeah.
because he had purchased a wrecked Tesla and then a second wrecked Tesla, and he was combining the two into, to make one good running one. And, he made a whole bunch of YouTube videos detailing all of the problems and issues he ran into trying to get it to work. And one of the problems was, like, because he had swapped parts from one into the other, the computer systems were not having it because obviously, like, the electronic lockouts and the serial numbers or whatever they are,
But it's also a smart vehicle, so I mean
sure,
that
yeah,
also plays into it. So like I don't think Tesla is doing it to be completely like skeevy. You know what I mean? I think there are some legitimate concerns that they have with their vehicles, and they just want to make sure people are safer about it. Because, I mean, he's even come out and said like he's for people, discovering shit about his stuff. And he said he loves the community for it. But like, I think he legitimately just has a concern because he doesn't want to get sued again. You know what I mean? He's been sued so many times, and
well, but this is the
I
thing, what
think,
would you get sued for though? I mean, if somebody modifies their Tesla and something bad happens because of it, that's not on Tesla.
yeah, I mean, and I agree with you, but he doesn't want anything bad happening. Like,
Yes.
I think it really is coming from the heart with him because he doesn't want to see people fucking die because they decided they were gonna mod his shit, and he's kind of looking at it as, well, if I didn't put this out there in the first place, this wouldn't have happened type of situation. So I really think like he is trying to like look out for people in general.
But again, like, I don't
Um,
see how that doesn't bump into right to repair,
no, I know, I
especially
get it.
since it's a
Yeah, right.
car. That's
Yeah,
been a thing for forever. Consoles, they at least had the excuse that nobody had gone through the court process with them yet. But with cars, man, that shit's been a thing for forever because car manufacturers tried that shit with everything. They tried to keep people from, re- fixing their anti-lock brake systems, without the proper scan tool and shit. And, they all said, no, yeah, that ain't fucking happening. This shit's got to
right.
be universal and stuff like that. And it's got to be able to be unlocked by the user. Um, so I don't know how Tesla is able to do that without immediately running up against. I mean, I guess maybe just not enough people have wanted or needed to repair it themselves and therefore run into those problems. But even then, it's the same thing with, because like even shops, like, even if you have a shop, you can't get the Tesla stuff without going to Tesla and getting their approval and or whatever uh, procedures and payments or whatever has to happen for you to get the tools and the software and all that needed to fix them. So, like, I don't see how somebody hasn't tried to get their Tesla fixed at a shop and having it, not be able to be done because of that, and then not taking them to court over it. But I mean, maybe it's just hasn't happened yet, and I don't know. JC Gaming says, "Oh yeah, Adobe is cutting support for Flash games. A company came up and saved over 26,000 games for the future, or 36,000." And then he posted the article in Discord. Yeah, I mean, we all knew this was coming because Flash is garbage. Um, I mean, Java's superior, and I mean, there's better things than Java too, but certainly Java's better than Flash. There's just way too many security exploits and shit like that. I mean, it's cool that they've saved those games for posterity,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but Yeah, I mean, probably be interested in checking a few of them out just for nostalgia's sake. Sure, there's a couple I
Yup.
remember. But
Yup.
yeah. Oh, and then so apparently Wizards of the Coast is partnering up with one of the ex BioWare developers to make a new RPG.
Yeah. Well, that's the studio. Yeah, that's the studio that they're making. They're making a game right now. I'm actually looking forward to that.
They have any? I mean, I'm suspicious because Wizards of the Coast has been pretty shitty lately, especially about Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons.
I agree.
Do we have any idea like what the game is going to be like?
I don't know. I just know about the
No.
studio. I just know
Yeah.
they're on a project and they didn't get said project. So
How many of the BioWare people are in this?
I don't. I really don't know. I just
Don't
know it's
know.
the one. I just know it's the dude himself that started BioWare.
Okay, the original guy from
OG.
BioWare. Yeah, fair enough. So
And I
that'll.
I'm hoping in the long run, like, because like the whole reason why BioWare even broke up or had issues is because of all the strife they had with commingling SJW thought with the development process, and so there was a lot of infighting, and they had a lot of issues there. So I mean, I don't know if he realizes what he's signing up. I think it's going to repeat itself, unfortunately, because Wizards of the Coast, as of late, has been nothing but fucking SJW propaganda machines.
Yep, everything.
And you know, it's sad because like they used to be, you know, a decent company. They're still paying their artists like shit. They're still treating their people like shit.
Yep.
And yet they have the balls to talk about equal rights and whatever. I don't want to get into it. You know what I mean? Like it just
I
is
know.
fucking.
Yep. Yeah, it's a shame because I loved Magic the Gathering and I love Dungeons and Dragons, and the latest incarnations of both have just been trash, basically.
I heard the MTG Arena game, the free to play, is pretty good. I don't want
Yeah.
to give them any money, so.
Well, that's the thing. It's like quartering. You know, he had spent several $1,000s on that game, and the Wizards of the Coast decided they didn't like him or what he was saying about them, so they yeeted everything he owned. And I don't even know if he ever got a refund for it.
No. They took his money for what it was worth and said,
Yeah.
"Go fuck yourself."
So they basically just stole several $1,000s from him and told him to go fuck off, basically. You know, and it's like, man, I can't support that at all. Like, I'd love, man, because there's not a lot of game shops in my area, and I don't really have the time or the energy to do, like, you know, tournaments or whatever at any of them. So it would have been awesome if I could have just bought, you know, online cards for Magic the Gathering and played online.
Yeah.
That would have been great. I would have loved it. But yeah, I can't support a company that will do that to their customers.
Nope. And neither will I, dude. Like, cause
Yeah.
they get it in their mind that because there's such a huge market and they're like the leading that. And this is what happens with every company that becomes popular, dude. Like, they lose their founding principles and they fuck over a lot of people because they think, well, you know, we just continue our business with you, but don't worry, there's like 1,000 more where you came from. And that's how they look at things, unfortunately. And that's just, and to a degree, you know what? They're right. You know, like,
unfortunately,
people people don't want to stand up for anything anymore. They don't want to stand their grounds. And when they try to, like, you know, sometimes they pull an EA and then they go right back to square one again. It's like
Yeah.
shit. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
Well, that's the thing. You know, people, like you said, they don't want to stand on principle, and so they'll disagree with what Wizards of the Coast is doing, but they don't want to stop buying or playing Magic the Gathering or whatever, you know, their game of choice is. And I mean, I get it because sometimes you just want to play your games, but like there comes a point, like I could have dealt with the SJW bullshit, you know,
Yeah.
but like yeeting the quartering for exposing pedophiles in your tournaments judge program, like you're gonna ban a guy for that because
Yeah.
you don't want to
Yeah.
admit that you've got convicted pedos judging your tournaments where there's kids. Like that's layers of bullshit.
And it only gets worse, dude. You know, they protected those people.
Yeah.
They protected them. They waited until like this whole thing fucking blew up with them, on the legal stage, and then they finally decided, okay, well, we gotta do something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that just
background
shows the
checks.
intent. Yeah, that just shows the intent of the company. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they didn't care that they were pedophiles, obviously, because they were registered, obviously, and they just
Yeah.
let them on. They're like, here, you
Yeah,
can have a
search
job. I'm
would have
like,
told you. Yeah. Yeah. Unreal, man. You know.
yes, sir.
All right, have a good one, JC.
What's this? WOTC developing a sci-fi RPG.
That's Wizards of the Coast. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know it was a sci-fi RPG.
Yeah, that's what the article said.
Cool.
So we'll
I
have
hope
to
it's
see.
good.
Yeah, like I said, I unfortunately don't have much hope because Wizards of the Coast has been pretty janky lately. But you know, only time will tell.
Yep. Agreed.
Anybody got anything else?
No.
I'm good.
I think there was a bunch of bullshit, but it was all Wraith. Damn, my favorite gamer girls be looking thick as fuck. What gamer girls you talking about there, Wraith? Are we the gamer girls? Cause I am thick. Got them hips. Everybody knows I got such a sexy voice. Yeah, there was some other bullshit, but it was all basically some, you know, politically nonsense.
Yeah.
Y'all, yeah. Well, thank you.
Bruh. This custard is delicious.
Got that good taste in vape.
I got food being made, so I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah,
I've got Mongolian barbecue in the fridge, man.
So I got 2 more concept covers.
I got a steak going and some potatoes and some green
Ooh-wee.
beans.
Yeah.
Are we getting another Fable?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought I'd heard something about
Yeah,
that a while ago.
It's being made by Playground Games.
I'm so happy right now. You have no idea.
Yeah, Playground took over the development of the next Fable. The guys that did Forza, they're gonna branch out. That'll be their first game that they do outside of Forza.
Man, I hope Forza Kart becomes a thing though.
Forza
I don't-
Kart, as in
Forza
like
Kart.
go
That'd
karts
be
and
fun,
shit.
dude. That'd be so dope, dude. I'd be
I
all
don't know.
over
I
it.
don't know. I don't know about that because Crash Bandicoot didn't do too well. I don't know if Microsoft wants to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, but it's Forza, dog. Like, take all the customization options and just throw it in a kart game and you'll be fine. You can't fuck that
Well, I
up.
could see them doing not just karts too, but like maybe motocross and shit like that. Have a couple different, you know,
Yeah.
karts would be the big one, but you know, have a couple of their modes. You know, you could have
Bro,
fun with it.
I would like to see them do like a bike game like that. Be like, you know, fucking motorcycles, and you'll have all your different branches of racing. You go from like
Sure.
heavy duty, like Harley Davidson, to enduros, you know, crotch rockets, pretty much. I mean, that would be fucking sick, dude. That would be. And then, of course, you know, obviously add in all customization features, dude. That shit would be fire, dude. People would buy that. I'd buy that shit. Shit, I'd buy it now if they had a pre-order announced today. I'd be like, okay, 60? That's easy.
Yeah, or sprint cars. I could see that being fun. God damn, man. All
Well,
around
they
us.
do have sprint cars in was it
Oh, do they?
3 or Horizon 3, and I think
Mm.
Motorsport. Yeah, they do sprint cars, and they even have a few of the cart for the carts. But I don't know. I would like to see those type of cars have their own separate game. I think that would be, you know, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, you could have some fun with it. There's a whole bunch of stuff you could do.
Don, you know, I'm gonna say this, but you were the one that went. That's never gonna die. That is never gonna die, bro.
That shit was pretty funny.
The only guy I've only known that screams when shit. He's watching the adult industry shit.
Right.
Well, all right, gentlemen. I think that's we've been going for hour 45. So
Okay, that's good.
unless anybody's got anything else they want to add,
No, I think I'm good.
I'm good.
right on. Well, thanks everybody for watching. This has been Game Talk. I don't think I'm gonna do overtime today. I'm really not feeling well.
All right.
So yeah, we'll see y'all next week. Have fun
Sounds
and
good.
play some games.
Every single Sunday.
Sunday, 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 Sunday.
Or have fun watching the Super Bowl, I guess, if that's what you're gonna do later today.
J-Lo's ass at halftime.
Yo, that is a beautiful ass.
You're not wrong.
That is America's ass.
To that, we are out.
Peace.